Hello, it's day 41 on Liberator project and I'm back in Chelmsford and it's been an absolutely terrible day. It's humid but it's dry. It's okay to work on a car in this weather, but everything I've done today has gone wrong, and I think this is a good lesson about buying cheap tools. Let me show you what have happened. First of all, cheap screwdriver snapped off, then a cheap foot pump, the end snapped, and then cheap rope to tow it out, and just snapped. So I hate buying cheap tools because they always do things like this, and it just makes life 10 times harder than it needs to be. You know, if any of those tools were decent, it would have made life a lot better for me. But anyway, I've been down here. I came down, had a really nice chili in the Railway Tavern. I recommend that. It's a great pub, very tasty. And then since that, I've been, though I didn't feel like it, I've been working on the car. Now, the problem is this. Right, the car runs, but there's no, if you see here, these are the fuel lines and the fuel return lines. And although the fuel tank gets pressurized, so the fuel pump's working, no fuel comes up these lines, so they're jammed. So I've tried using a little compressor, this little thing. It's for blowing up tires, but you can use it as a little compressor. So I connected, as the end broke, I connected this onto the pipes and tried to blow air back the reverse way to try and free the blockage. I mean, they got up to about 120 pounds per square inch, still not clear the blockage. So it is the fuel filter. Now, the reason I couldn't find the fuel filter the other day is because the fuel filter and fuel pump are actually at the back with the fuel tank, rather than being, as usual, in Pinto engines certainly, actually in the engine bay. So the fuel filter, the bit which I'm fairly certain is jammed, is actually down there somewhere at the back, and not really possible for me to dig it out at the moment. So I had a plan. I used the tow rope and I was going to pull the car out. Now if you look, the tyres are pumped up, but the wheels are actually sunk about 50 mil into the mud. So it's very tricky, and the tow rope wasn't man enough for the job and it kept snapping, so I need to buy a better tow rope or have another plan. Also, the towing point, which is here, has an adapter which I don't know where it is, so I couldn't just connect a proper tow hook to it and really use the whole weight of my car to, and several ropes to try and hoik it out. But hoiking was not a plan. So other thing, luckily one of the guys here, one of the neighbours, gave me a hand. He was squirting Easy Start into the top of the engine so it would run, and the engine was firing, it was running fine, but you couldn't, obviously if you're squirting it running on fumes, you can't rev the car up to have enough power. So although it was running, it didn't have enough, I couldn't accelerate basically to give it enough oomph to actually break it free of the mud and pull it out. So that's another problem. So I'm stuck with sort of two issues really. One is I get a bigger tow rope and pull it out and bring it out onto the concrete, and then I can flush out the fuel filter or replace it, and then the car will be fine. Or I try and work in situ, which is that would be absolutely horrible. I mean, it's muddy and there's brambles and stinging nettles and wasps and thorns, and even though it's cut back, I mean, there's still plenty under the car, and I'd have to find a way of trying to jack the car up. Now, given it's on mud, I mean, even a trolley jack is going to sink down rather than lift the car up. So I don't think that's a particularly good idea. It's not a difficult job, but it just, in a nice dry garage, you get underneath the car, 10 minutes, that's the sort of level it is. It's a few bolts and flushing the pipes out and replacing a fuel pump, a fuel filter. But the trying to do that, with the car sunk in the mud on a patch of brambles, that's going to be horrible. Now, so I don't know what the option is here. Something I did like, I will show you, which I thought was really good, was the I got the Hayes manual here for the car, and there's some bit that I thought was actually really nice in the book. If you look here, it says, here we go, can you see that? It says, this is a job for someone with small hands, good tools, and a lot of patience. Well, good advice, but I haven't got small hands, and I haven't got good tools, and I'm really running out of patience. So I think that you know, I'm going to leave it for today. If I leave now, I can go home, have a shower, and I can go karate tonight while I've still got the energy. So that's a very appealing. The guy who wants to buy a car for banger racing is meeting me here on Thursday, and he's going to look at the car. Now, if he's going to strip it and you know, get it ready for banger racing, I can leave it to him to you know, flush out the fuel line. I mean, it's not a difficult job. It's just it's difficult to do it there. That's the problem. So if he's the sort of person that wants to strip down the car and go banger racing, listen, he can fix a fuel filter. And the plus side is then I haven't got to buy a tow rope, I haven't got to mess around and fix it. Now, if I sold the car on eBay, I mean, you know, I'd probably get, well, you know, £300. It's a gear, it's got a beautiful inside, and, you know, it's got a lot of good things going for it. But if he wants to buy it for banger racing, he's offered me 150. And that does have the perk that I haven't got to do any more on it. So that is very tempting. But I'm seeing him Thursday, and he can sort of weigh up what he wants to do then. But that would be a much better deal for me, as I haven't got to worry about getting the car out, digging the car out, and getting everything fixed on it. So that's a very, very tempting deal. Right, that's today's, well, you know, a lot of work, but little progress. And, you know, today's lesson is, don't buy cheap tools. You know, it's just never worth it. They always end up letting you down, and then when they let you down in a certain situation, it's, you know, you're just willing to go to Halfords and spend whatever just to get a job done. So you know, I had a set of cheap tools for odd jobs, and it's a disaster. I think from now on it's only good tools, especially on the boat, where, you know, my life might depend on having a good set of tools. So that's going to be a good lesson learnt from that. Okay, I don't know what else I can do on the car. I mean, I'll come down Thursday. I might swap the seats over, because the seats are nicer in that one, and if it's banger racing, it doesn't make any difference. And I might swap the speakers over. You know, there's things I might do, but today, you know, with everything failing on me, I've really had enough. So I'm going to have a relaxing drive back, a shower, and then karate, and hopefully take some frustration out getting exhausted in a social distancing fighting tonight. Okay, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. And well, I'll make a decision about what happens to the car on Thursday. Thanks a lot. Goodbye.